Good morning. President Weinberg, members of the faculty, emeriti, alumni, undergraduates, and guests, welcome to Denison's 2022 Alumni Convocation. I'm Josh Williams, a graduate of the class of 2007 and the current president of Denison's Alumni Council. I'm so pleased that so many of us have come back to our college this weekend to renew our ties with Denison and with each other. Alumni from 28 classes are here to celebrate reunions this weekend. Indeed, many of us have been waiting quite some time for this moment. The opportunity to celebrate in person again, having dealt with the cancellations of reunions and other activities due to COVID over the last couple of years. Unlike most reunions, this year we are pleased to have 3 classes on campus to celebrate their long-awaited 50th reunions. The classes of 1970, 71, and 1972. We also have 2 classes experiencing their very first reunion weekend. Would you please join me in a rousing welcome to the classes of 2016 and 2017 who are here for their 5th reunions. This year's Alumni Citation honorees will join a very distinguished group of Denisonians. I would like to ask all of those in attendance who have previously received a Denison Alumni Citation or an honorary degree to please rise and be recognized by your fellow alumni. There's one other group I'd like to recognize en masse, our loyal and dedicated volunteers, the heartbeat of Denison, without whom the college could not prosper. I ask that you please hold your applause until I recognize all groups. Please stand and remain standing if you currently are or have been a Denison trustee or trustee fellow, a member of the Alumni Council, a reunion committee member. Should be a lot of you. A leader of a Denison Alumni Club or affinity group, an intern host or career mentor, a class agent, a member of a Denison Admission Ambassadors Program, a member of our Board of Advisors, a volunteer inspiring philanthropy or VIP. Please join me in honoring this dedicated group of Denison volunteers. Thank you for all that you do. Finally, I'd like to recognize the Denison families in the audience. Please stand if you have a relative, parent, grandparent, sibling, aunt, uncle, whatever you define as relative, who also attended Denison. Please stand. This morning, we're going to take some time to hear more about what's happening at Denison today and where it is headed. Then we'll look back and celebrate with our citation recipients all of their successes since being Denison graduates. As all of you know, we here at Denison welcomed Dr. Adam Weinberg as our college's 20th president 9 years ago. He's made a significant and highly visible impact on our campus and alumni communities. He is vibrant and energetic and has a passion for the liberal arts and for Denison. President Weinberg holds degrees from Bowdoin College and Northwestern University. He was previously vice president and dean of the college at Colgate University, where he was also a member of the sociology department for more than a decade. He has gained national prominence for his work increasing the levels of civic engagement at colleges and universities. He also founded a number of organizations, including the Center for Outreach, Volunteerism, and Education, and the Partnership for Community Development. Just prior to his arrival at Denison, Adam served as president and CEO of World Learning, which works with young people from more than 140 countries, helping them develop the ability to address critical global issues. And we are now very proud to call him a Denisonian. Please join me in welcoming Denison's 20th president, Dr. Adam Weinberg.
Thanks, Josh. So our 16-year-old daughter has an alternative version of that bio. It goes something like, he doesn't listen or hear, is not very supportive, tells me things in not a nice way. So I didn't realize until I sat there, this is the first time I've stood up here and looked at alumni coming back for their 5th reunion who not only did I know as students, but I knew as first-year students. Like, I knew you when you were 17 and 18 years of age, and now you're off running corporate America. I'm just getting hit with this rush of nostalgia. So a number of you asked me, because you knew that I went to Northwestern, why I'm not wearing purple robes, because usually college presidents wear the robes of the places where they got their PhDs. I've been part of a lot of academic institutions. There's only one that I care about, and that's Denison. And so I said that at a dinner a couple years ago, and next thing I knew, an alum had shipped me red Denison robes, which I love. So I will also say, because I know I'll be asked about this later, and then I will get into my remarks. For older alums who've been back for a lot of reunions, you will notice today that we are not using our organ. It is because it is being refurbished, and big pieces of it are in Germany. We expect to get those pieces back in about 30 to 40 years, although they've promised by next fall. If anybody ever thinks you want to buy a chapel-size organ for your house, don't. They are very expensive to fix. So I just want to start with a simple statement, and it goes as follows. Anybody connected to Denison in any way, shape, or form has a right to feel deeply proud of that association. And I've thrown these numbers out a couple times this weekend, so I'll apologize to the 50th reunion classes who've heard it once or twice, but I want to do it for the younger alums. Here's just kind of 5 numbers, 5 pride points that should make you Denison proud. The numbers are 12,219, 5, 10, 108,012, and they stand for the following. This year we had 12,219 applications for Denison. They were up 28% this year alone, 150% the last couple years, more applications than any other Midwestern liberal arts college, more than Grinnell, Carleton, Oberlin, take your school. Second, 5. Anybody know what that is? Some of you should. That is the number of athletic teams this spring alone who went to the NCAA tournament. Both our lacrosse teams, both our tennis teams, and our baseball team. And if anybody wants to hear about any of those NCAA games, I'd be happy to talk at length about them afterwards, especially about the umpire in our last baseball game and some of the officiating in the lacrosse game. 10 would be the number of miles that's going to separate us from Intel's largest facility in the world over the next couple years. So if you like the grass between here and New Albany, pick some up on your way out, because it will be gone next time you're here. 108,000 is what I'm really proud of. 108,000 is the number of square feet of the Michael D. Eisner Center for the Performing Arts. And I'll just make one comment about that. In a historical moment when we've never needed the arts more, too many universities are cutting back on it. I'm super proud that we are doubling down on the arts. I like to talk about it publicly in those words in hopes that my colleagues at other institutions will find the resources and leadership strength to do the same. If you haven't been to the Eisner Center, walk in there and just imagine a Friday night when there are 3 or 4 performances going on in there all at the same time. It's magical. And 12 is a shout out to our faculty, best faculty in the country. That's the number of new academic programs our faculty have started over the last couple of years. So all rooted in the liberal arts. You can clap for that. So Josh, you said I had 15 minutes. The clapping part doesn't count as part of my 15. The clock stops. So our faculty started with new programs in data analytics, first liberal arts college in the country to have a data analytics program, global health, financial economics, and health, exercise, and sports studies. We then added global health, geoscience, added new majors in earth science and environmental science, political science, where's Megan, became politics and public affairs. This year, the English department and the comm department started a new journalism program that's super interesting. We have a digital humanities program that we're launching, Middle East and North African studies, and next year, I'm really excited about this, next year, we will be one of the few liberal arts colleges and really one of the few colleges in the country that will have a musical theater program not connected to a conservatory, and we'll start an applied math program. So just lots of cool stuff going on. So here's what I want you to know as alums. As alums, I want you to know 3 things about Denison in 2022. First, and probably most important, we're doing lots of neat things, new things, bright and shiny, but the stuff we're really doing that's most important, more important than anything else we're doing, are the things we've been doing for almost 200 years. We continue to wake up every day and focus most of our time and energy on those things that make great residential liberal arts colleges great institutions. So there's 4,000 colleges in this country. About 100 to 140 are residential liberal arts colleges. Places like Denison are defined by 2 things, and you know what they are. They're defined by relationships, and they're defined by experiences. That's what we continue to do really well at Denison. Talk to our younger alums. This faculty continues to be the most engaged faculty in the country. It's not just that classes are small. It's not just that our faculty know our students by name. That happens lots of places. Our faculty here are mentors in every sense of the word. It's about the friendships. So a couple of you have asked, why was the attendance a little bit lower for our younger reunion classes this year? It's because they're all off getting married to each other, and we have all these Denison weddings going on this weekend. They just do. This is a place where students come, they form friendships fast, and like you from the 50th classes, they're turning out to be the most important friendships they'll have for the rest of their lives. But it's not just about relationships, it's also about experiences. This is a place where you come and you don't watch other people do things, you get to do them yourself. You get to play on the athletic team. You get to make art on a stage. You get to start new organizations or study abroad. Here's 2 interesting facts. We know that 2 of the most important things that have to happen in college for you to come back at your 50th reunion and say, my life turned out better than I ever thought it could, and college made it happen, 2 important things, among others. One is you have to find a mentor. Single biggest predictor. And yet it happens for less than 30% of all college students nationally. That figure at Denison, 92%. Here's the second. You gotta get involved in something outside the classroom. You gotta play a sport, be involved in the arts, do something over a period of time. Again, nationally, less than 30% of all college students are involved in anything co-curricularly. That figure at Denison would be about 175%. So we do education the right way at Denison. We always have, and we continue to today. That will never change. But here's the second. We're a college that is always striving to do more for our students. We listen to our students, we watch our students, and we adapt and change as we need to do so. So in addition to the things I've already mentioned, making a major commitment to the arts. It's not just the Eisner Center, but everything going down on the South Quad. And this is a college that just continues to drip in the arts. I am really proud that we are emerging as one of the top colleges in the country for arts-oriented students who don't want a conservatory. Ann and I were here about a month ago, sitting back there, and one of our students got up and played a piano piece, and Ann looked at me and said, "Do you realize how good that was?" And I said, "You've been married to me for 30 years. I am tone deaf. I have no clue how good that was." She was an oboist in a conservatory and said, "Probably the finest piece I've ever seen a college student give with any instrument." I ran into the student the next day on the quad and said, "How'd you wind up at Denison?" And she looked at me and she said, "I was on my way to conservatory. We walked into the Eisner Center. I met the piano teacher, and my parents said, 'You can come here and do it all.'" And then she got a little weepy. And she said, "You know what? I've never played piano this good. I'm running track. I'm a global commerce major, and I'm a tour guide." That's Denison. So we have become a leading liberal arts college around careers. If you haven't been over to the Knowlton Center, there's not a better career center in the country. I got 30 people at Denison waking up every day, focused on helping students explore careers and then to launch successfully. We are and have emerged as one of the few places in the country that doesn't force students to make a false choice between getting a life-shaping liberal arts education and getting the career credentials you need to figure out what you want to do and then launch quickly and successfully. We'll spend spend $1 million this summer thanks to your generosity, supporting students, doing internships and career-related activities. We now have a new facility in downtown Columbus, right across the street from Nationwide Arena. You can come to Denison as of fall 2021, major in anything you want, and pick up a second credential through the Knowlton Center in marketing, sales, logistics, finance, and other kinds of things. Next fall, we will open the Tom and Ann Hoagland Wellness Center. Whistler goes away. I know that makes many people unhappy. I said this to the 50th classes yesterday, and it is true. The mattresses have been around for 70 years. We are selling them if anybody would like to buy one. They are the oldest continuous use mattresses in the United States, we think. But that center doesn't just replace Whistler. It will put us on the forefront, really, truly the forefront, of being a liberal arts college that takes seriously the notion that we need to help this generation develop the tools it's going to take to thrive in a world that is chaotic, in a world where change does happen fast, in a world that can be difficult to navigate. We will build a reputation as a place that develops recent grads who have incredible emotional agility and persistence. That is a center for wellness in all of its, in all facets. I'm super proud of the work we're getting ready to do. And we're working on the big issues. Everybody running a college today better be leaning into issues around diversity and climate change, and we're doing a lot of that at Denison. So the list goes on and on and on. Here's the third thing we're doing. We're doing all of this while also working hard to keep Denison affordable. 4,000 colleges in the country, only 75 of 4,000 meet the full demonstrated financial aid need of every student they take. We are one of those 75. And our driving, you can clap for that. You should, because you made that happen. That doesn't happen without the support of our donors and our alums. We've gone one step further. We're also now plugging financial stressors, work we did when some of the young alums here were here. We just mapped out what are all the ways that finances get in the way of your Denison education, and we're closing them. So I'll give you one example. We now have something called Red Thread grants. So a student chips a tooth, instead of waiting for the tooth to get infected, and then somebody missing 2 weeks of classes, a dean, without any paperwork, without having to go to 20 offices, can just write a check up to $500 to get something done, right? Get a tooth fixed, buy a coat, bus ticket home, whatever it is you need, we'll make it happen. So we're keeping Denison affordable to low-income and middle-income students. Come back in the fall. 1 out of every 5 students on this campus today is the first one in their family to ever go to college. So that's what makes Denison both life-shaping and, I would argue, unique in the landscape of higher ed. We are a college that is powered by the word "and." You can come here and get a life-shaping liberal arts education and launch into a career. You can play a sport and compete for a national championship and study abroad. You can follow your passions for the arts at the highest level and still major in physics. You will have friends like you, and what I'm most excited about, you will have friends who are not like you. We cut across the political spectrum. We come from 40 countries in every corner of the United States, and we enjoy our differences at Denison. We celebrate them, and we learn from them, even in the tough moments. So what we do, it's pretty simple. We provide an education and a set of experiences that unlocks the potential of our students to be the architects of their own lives. I want to just talk I'll keep this short, I promise, Josh, but I want to talk about how all this came together the last 2 years. The last 2 years were hard everywhere, but I'm really proud of the way this campus handled the COVID crisis. In the spring of 2020, we sent our students home, like many colleges did, but we did something unique before we sent our students home. We gathered our athletic coaches who were getting ready to cancel their spring season, and we said, we want everybody to find a way to play one last athletic contest. We don't care what it costs. We don't care if Nan and I have to referee, but we want to be the last college in the country to play sports because our students deserve it. We think there was a baseball team playing in Florida, but we say we were the last college playing sports that spring. And then in April of 2020, we were one of the first colleges to put our flag in the ground and to state publicly that we would reopen in August and welcome all of our students back. We didn't know if we could actually make that happen, but we knew trying was the Denison way of doing things. So we created a partnership with a team of top epidemiologists at the Wexner Medical Research Center at The Ohio State. They wound up quarterbacking for the whole state. And we told them three things. We needed to open and to welcome our students back. We told them we would follow the science. At the time, that didn't seem like a controversial thing to say. It turned out to be. And we told them we would accept their advice, that if they would help us open, we would do everything they told us we needed to do. And we said if they at any given moment told us we couldn't do it or we needed to send people home, we would do that too. We would change course. But we wouldn't change course until we exhausted all available options. Denisonians don't fail until there's no other option. The fall was many things, but it was not normal. We were locked down, but we were together. The first couple weeks back, I wasn't actually sure we had done the right thing or we would make it through. And then I was sitting on my porch on a Saturday night late, and our new VP for Student Affairs called me and said, "This is gonna work." I was desperate for affirmation, so I said, "What do you know that I don't know?" And he said something really simple. He said, "I'm on Beaver Beach," it's kind of over in the East Quad, with our students. And I kind of said, "What are you doing over there on a Saturday night at midnight?" And he said, "Here's what I'll tell you. Our students are here to make it work, and they're gonna do what it takes, and we're gonna get through this together." And so we did. We were locked down, but we were together. Our athletic teams played. Nobody else was playing in Division III sports except for us. So we did inter-squad games. And for some of our teams, that's more competition than they normally have anyways. Nobody tweet that out, please, because I'm going to get a lot of angry phone calls. We did live theater. We think we might have been the only live theater in the great state of Ohio that fall. Now, we had to pre-record the lines because we weren't allowed to breathe in each other's directions, and then we had to walk because the epidemiologist told us that the only way we could do theater was outside, walking with pre-recorded lines. But we did it, and it was fun, and it was interesting. A lot of our classes met outside. Who does that? There were not faculty in the country that came back to campus that fall and did classes outside in tents. Faculty did walking office hours. We brought hundreds of Adirondack chairs and fire pits, and we socialized and partied outside. All those places students had wanted to have parties for years, we did it that fall. And we have some students here, and you ask the students in the golf carts today, it wasn't easy, and it wasn't normal, and it was nothing we'd ever want to replicate again. But you know what? We got through it, and we had virtually no COVID on campus, less than 10 cases the whole fall. The spring was better. The spring was better. It was only better compared to the fall, but it was better. In the spring, every class met in person. Masked, socially distanced, windows open. We gave everybody a hat when they came back in January because it was cold and we had to be outside. But every athletic team, all 24, fall and spring, played in the spring. The arts were back. Adirondack chairs and fire pits stayed, and they were joined by food trucks that we started bringing to campus. And this year, we set out to give our students as normal a year as possible. We did only a little bit of masking compared to most places, only in classrooms and workspaces. The rest was normal. And again, not normal, but we had very little COVID. So how did we pull this off when most colleges couldn't? Two ways. We leaned into our Denison values and attributes. Our faculty, our staff, and our students stepped up in ways that were almost unimaginable in March of 2020. I will never have the privilege and honor of going through anything like that again, and it was remarkable. They did it because they care about each other. Our faculty care deeply about our students, our staff do as well. They care about the college and the liberal arts. And our students put up with a lot of resistance because, as one of them said to me, "I will do anything it takes to be on this hill with my friends." So I could go on, but I'll get teary if I go on, so I won't. Here's the point. This is a great college that demonstrates every year that we believe in the liberal arts, that we care about our students, and that we can adapt and change as situations arise. Here's the other reason we got through it when other colleges couldn't. We had financial resources. We just did. And so to all of our alums, all the reunion classes that helped us build our endowment, that stepped up in the spring of 2020 so we could have a good annual fund, we just couldn't have done it without you. We couldn't have promised everybody we would keep them employed. We couldn't have made more financial aid available. We couldn't have spent the money we needed to spend in the summer without your support, your guidance, and your financial resources. So thank you. So let me close. As alumni, you play an important role in the college. One is what I just said, the financial support, particularly the annual fund. Thank you for everything you do. But you do more than that. You send us your kids. It's the biggest contribution you can ever make. Biggest way you can show your support for us is telling your own kids to come to Denison. You help us recruit students. You provide internships and jobs and career coaching for this generation of students. You stay connected to each other, which keeps our culture alive and reminds people why Denison is a great institution. I can't tell you how many nights the last 9 years I've been out with a Denison and one with alumni, and one is a Denisonian and one is not. And at some point, the Denison alum gets up to go to the restroom, and the non-Denison spouse grabs my arm and says, for 30 years, I've been jealous of their Denison friendships and the experience they had. Our kids are going to Denison. And lastly, you're just you. You're the kinds of people others want to be around. So here's my ask. It's the same one I make every year, but it really makes a difference. We're proud to call Denisonians Denisonians. Put a Denison coffee mug on your place at work. Put a bumper sticker on your car. If tattoos are your thing, Denison on your forehead is awesome. Just identify yourself so people know you're part of the Denison family. So I want to close with a quote. The class of 2020 comes back for its graduation finally next week. I didn't know what to say to them. I know what to say to recent college grads, but I've never been to a graduation 2 years post-graduation. And so I reached out to the class of 2020 and just said, tell me about Denison in your life 2 years out. And there were a lot of great quotes I got back. I want to just read one of them. I could write ad nauseum about what Denison means to me and why I think it's special. For the sake of brevity, I will stick to a few key components. First and foremost, my student experience at Denison was a unique and harmonious blend of challenge and comfort. Denison is a challenging place for many reasons. It forces you to confront your biases, to question your beliefs, to integrate into a community of high-achieving, exceptional people. Those challenges helped shape me into the person I am today, and I will be eternally grateful for them. But they were strenuous and daunting nonetheless. I don't think that part of Denison experience is particularly unique. There's lots of places and environments that challenge you to think differently, but perhaps not as effectively as Denison, but the point remains. What's so special about Denison is the extraordinary and ubiquitous sense of support and encouragement that accompanies that challenge. Denison pushes you, but it pushes you to become your best self, and it's filled with people, faculty, coaches, staff, and classmates who are excited to cheer you on throughout your journey. Denison is a symbiotic community of different people working towards their own personal sense of purpose while simultaneously and continuously supporting those around them to do the same. I know our classes from the 50th would say that's what Denison was like when you were here. That's what the class of 2020 says as well. So it is now my great privilege and pleasure to introduce a video that we've put together that was compiled from this year's alumni citation winners.
So how did Denison change my life? Well, there's several different reasons. First of all, it really broadened my horizons.
Denison changed my life in a variety of ways. I came to Denison as a high school valedictorian, feeling pretty good about that, only to discover in short order that I was probably not as well prepared as many of my classmates. So I had to work really hard. I developed great friendships, great relationships, and I met Ann, my wife of 46 years.
First and foremost, my husband is a Denisonian, so he's been quite helpful in my life.
He met so many of his life friends there, besides me, which he met afterwards.
That it gave me the room to explore myself and explore a lot of stimulating subjects in a community that was based on close relationships with classmates and faculty.
I felt very welcomed and included academically, and I can remember leaving class some days and just having my mind blown about something we were studying and just walking across the quad feeling so grateful that I was having the chance to learn some of these things.
That ability to think and reason, to question, those were skills that I developed in college that quite frankly carried me through the rest of my career and still carry me forward today.
So as a trial lawyer, A broad base of knowledge that I gained at Denison was very important for that. It helped me understand the issues that I was engaged in, and I think made me a stronger lawyer.
Denison helped me get the attributes that you needed to have a successful career.
When I was going through the job search process, it was a very competitive environment. And when I was getting an offer from the HR department, one of the things they always said was they noted that the Denison liberal arts education was an advantage for me. It was a leg up. It made me stand out.
Remarkably, Denison paid for me to spend a junior semester in England, which completely changed my life.
Helped me with my view of that you need others to succeed, and you need teammates and partners and people that will help you along the way. And I don't think as a week goes by where I'm not in touch with somebody from Denison.
Denisonians have been present in almost everything that I've done in meaningful ways in my life. Just a great community.
With Marty's warmth of personality and strength of character he was able to give to others, and I attribute Marty's years at Denison to learning how to connect and give to others.
Denison made a connection for me that I don't think I otherwise would have gotten, or even a career path that I wouldn't have even considered. And then it was a Denison friend and classmate who actually connected me to Wendy's. And tomorrow will be my 19th anniversary with Wendy's.
What Denison did for me was really, academically anyways, focused my interest in the health sciences.
I wrote Professor Roy Morey, who was in the political science department, a letter, and because of his good offices, spent the summer in the White House. That was a resume builder, needless to say.
My major at Denison was psychology, and Dr. Irv Wolf was the head of psychology at the time, and I worked for Dr. Wolf my senior year in college, and he said, I think you might enjoy going to Indiana and getting a master's degree in speech pathology audiology. He was able, with his connection there, to get a grant which paid for my tuition the whole time I was there. Definitely, Denison had total shaping of my career.
I did feel like I was reinventing the wheel a little bit because I really wanted to legitimize my performance art and my drag so that it would be seen as a viable, real, consumable commodity rather than just nightlife.
I decided at Denison to become a lawyer, and I think it was because of the international and national issues of racism and the war going on then, Vietnam. I was looking very inward when I started at Denison. I think when I finished, I was very much looking outward.
That's where I discovered great people, great individuals, great coaches from Lincoln West High School to Lakewood High School to Denison University. Once I'm there, it's just like I'm home. It's family to me now, and it's part of me forever now.
So I took American history too from a professor named Dr. Preston, Dr. William Preston. I said to him, Dr. Preston, I'd like your help. I'd like to take a 3-week hiatus from school, go to Washington and lobby against the war. He said, here's what I'm going to do. 2 weeks, not 3. And the only thing I require of you is you shake my hand and promise me that you'll achieve at the level that you're capable of achieving. And when I came back, I was a changed person in terms of I never missed a class after that.
After college was over, senior year, I decided to move to New York. My parents said that they would sort of put me up for 3 months. It just so happened that my French professor, Milton Emont, he had a son, his name was George, and George worked at this company called Data Resources in New York. He and his team hired me for my first job in New York City out of college. So I didn't have to move home. So that was good.
Had the opportunity to meet a phenomenal Denison alum by the name of Paula Stanley. And Paula had it's in her DNA, where she would constantly come back to the campus and interact with us as students and talk about her career path in the insurance industry, but ultimately just talk about life after Denison and the things that you can do. And it was that connection that led me on a 20+ year career in the insurance industry.
When I think of Denison, I think of a place with an intimate human scale. people don't get lost there.
The faculty was so open, you couldn't hide at Denison. And so every class, was small. I think my biggest class was probably 30 students. And, the engagement with the faculty, you just don't see that at big institutions.
There were so many opportunities, a breadth of activities, clubs, sports, those types of things, that it gave the ability to be part of something and be part of a smaller group within the larger school.
It was my experience in the philosophy department and in the religion department by my senior year that pretty much convinced me that I wanted to go on to get my Master's of Divinity from Yale, where I applied my senior year. So it was through my experience in those departments where I really came to understand what I thought, what I still believe, my path was meant to be.
I'm going to be celebrating my 50th reunion. And I think for anybody who's going to be there, they will tell you it feels like a year went by, not 50 years, 1 year.
I left Denison as a student, as a lifelong learner, and with an aspiration to be successful and be a leader.
Liked it well enough to want to work there for 17 years. And when you get really close to a place, there's a deep emotional connection.
I would say a Denisonian is resourceful,
self-confident,
welcoming,
engaged,
curious,
friendly,
fun,
tenacious,
passionate, open-minded,
involved,
resilient,
and a lifelong learner.
I'm very aware that the Alumni Citation is the highest award that Denison can give to an alum.
Receiving a citation award from my alma mater is very special.
I'm humbled by it. I'm honored by it.
When I learned the news, I got to tell you, it just filled me and overwhelmed me with so many emotions.
I was surprised and humbled by this.
It means more than I can express.
To be recognized by your peers as a leader is really, an honor.
And he was thrilled to become a citation award winner.
He would just be so proud to have this award. And I'm really proud of him.
I just feel very blessed and very fortunate.
And it's very motivating to feel like whatever I'm doing is of value to somebody enough to be nominated.
It was a verification I did make a difference.
This is the one that really means the most because it's from my people, Denisonians, and that makes it so much more special.
There is no greater honor.
So as you heard a moment ago, the Alumni Citation is the highest honor bestowed by Denison's Society of the Alumni. The criteria for selection include recognized leadership among their peers through outstanding contributions and service to the professional, civic, business, or religious life of the nation or to the advancement of the university. The first citation was awarded 73 years ago, And since that time, alumni have gathered annually at this convocation to honor individuals whose professional achievements and service on behalf of the common good have brought honor to themselves and to Denison. In 2020, 11 alumni were selected to receive the Alumni Citation Award. In 2021, 13 alumni were selected, and in 2022, another 11 were selected for this special honor. Due to COVID, cancellations of past reunions, today we will celebrate and recognize 28 of those individuals who have earned this distinction. I encourage you to read the profiles of these citation recipients, which are in your programs. This group is truly exceptional, representing Denison at its best. Recipients, as I call your name, would you please come forward and receive your award from President Weinberg. Makarobondo Salukombo, class of 2012.
We recognize Dee Salukombo for running the good race as a student athlete and as a global citizen, returning home to the Democratic Republic of Congo in order to change lives and open up athletic and educational opportunities for young people with a clear track ahead. Congratulations and thank you.
In absentia, we recognize Andrew Levitt, class of 2001.
We recognize Andrew Levitt for his work and accomplishment as Nina West, a world-renowned drag queen, and honor Andrew's activism and crusade for gay marriage, equal rights, and access to health care on behalf of the LGBTQ community. Can we all give him a round of applause?
Oyama Garrison, class of 1996.
We honor Oyama Garrison for his commitment to nonprofit leadership in Central Ohio and for his insightful and expansive work, finding creative ways to help children facing extraordinary, challenging experiences and giving them memorable life opportunities. Congratulations and thank you.
Abigail Pringle, class of 1996.
We honor Abigail Pringle for her extraordinary business success and leadership at one of America's most iconic food retailers, Wendy's, and for her lifelong commitment to Denison through her financial support and valuable service on multiple boards, including our Board of Trustees. Thank you.
Grant L. Jones, class of 1988.
We recognize Grant Jones for his medical practice through Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center as team physician for the Ohio State's athletic department and for the Columbus Clippers. And we honor him for becoming the first Denison alumna to be inducted into the NCAA Academic All-American Hall of Fame, as well as a Denison Presidential Medalist. Congratulations.
Michelle M. Warner, class of 1988.
We honor Michelle Warner for how she has helped to build connections between her experience in corporate law to developing career exploration both for Denison students and for practitioners in the field. Her work shows how giving back is always a process of giving forward as well. Congratulations.
Daniel E. Greenleaf, class of 1987.
We honor Dan Greenleaf for his executive leadership in the healthcare industry and for his service in the U.S. Air Force, a path he chose upon completing his degree at Denison and after having served as a student leader on campus and on the football field. We value his interactions with students in career exploration through the Knowlton Center and are confident they're seeing more and better options for their lives through his mentorship. Congratulations and thank you.
In absentia, we recognize Randolph M. Hollerith, class of 1986.
We honor the Very Reverend Randy Hollerith, the 11th Dean of Washington's National Cathedral, for his ministry and his message. We are thankful indeed that the lessons of service and leadership, which began as a head resident and student advisor in his campus days, have led to similar work on a national stage. Denison is proud to call him one of our own. Can we give him a round of applause?
Jonathan E. Bridge, class of 1982.
We honor John Bridge for his love of education as a student, as a staff member at our Fair College on the Hill, and as a loyal alumnus of Denison. We celebrate his many efforts to support excellence in education and to expand the ways both students and teachers understand our common progress, to increase knowledge and develop wisdom through the liberal arts. Congratulations.
T. Clifford Devaney, class of 1982.
We honor Cliff Devaney for his support of this home we love so well and for his exceptional efforts to advance and improve healthcare in Ohio. It is our honor to call this skillful doctor and visionary healthcare administrator a loyal alumnus of Denison. Congratulations.
Martha Hall, class of 1981.
We recognize Martha Hall for her deep commitment and activism as a civic volunteer and leader who is helping many organizations grow and thrive, especially in the field of education. We also honor Martha for her dedication and ongoing service to Denison throughout her life. Congratulations.
William J. Mills II, class of 1977.
We recognize Bill Mills for his extraordinary contributions to the finance and banking industry and his leadership during his time at Citigroup. And while maintaining a rigorous career, he also remained focused on serving his community through his devotion to City Harvest and to Denison. Congratulations.
In absentia, we recognize Dana Hart, class of 1976.
We recognize Dana Hart's passion for learning and for her successful career as a teacher, mentor, and leader in the field of education. We also honor Dana for her ongoing service and support of Denison in many roles and many ways, including her ongoing contribution to the work of the board as an active and engaged life trustee. Can we give Dana a round of applause?
John V. Faraci Jr., class of 1972.
We honor John Faraci for the excellence of his career as an international corporate executive and for his outstanding service to his alma mater. We applaud John for his dedication to our national parks as a board member of the Grand Teton National Park Foundation and the National Park Foundation. And we honor the leadership and acumen he has brought in service of multiple roles at Denison. We hold him as one of the finest examples of the liberal arts education at work in the world on behalf of others. Congratulations.
David J. Hooker, class of 1972.
We honor David Hooker's leadership to Denison from the first day he set foot on campus to this very weekend, indeed, recognizing his 30 years of service on our board, as well as his service to his community and as a managing partner of his law firm. We look forward to his continued contributions of wisdom, insight, and support in the years ahead. Congratulations.
In absentia, we recognize Lucinda S. Lavelli, class of 1972.
We recognize Dean Lavelli for her honored contributions to her College of the Arts and the University of Florida, where her career and education drew on roots first put down here at Denison. Can we please give her a round of applause?
In absentia, we also recognize Ralph L. Schlossstein, class of 1972.
We honor Ralph Schlossstein for his career in leadership and finance, and also for his commitment to community service and giving back in so many significant ways, not the least of which is having established at Denison the Ralph L. Schlossstein and Jane Hartley Endowed Scholarship. Can we give Ralph a round of applause?
Richard Bodorf, class of 1971.
We honor Dick Bodor for his support of this home we love so well over many years, and for his extraordinary contributions to the telecommunications industry and for his service to the field of public broadcasting, along with many other community organizations where he lives. Denison has benefited from his decades of support as a volunteer, donor, and for us, a loyal alumnus. Congratulations.
Charles G. Brown III, class of 1971.
We honor Charlie Brown for his lifelong commitment to activism and community service, and for his advocacy of victims' rights and consumer protection. We are proud to claim him as Denison's own and point to his personal example of skills, values, and habits which exemplify the liberal arts education at work in the world on behalf of others. Congratulations.
Walter F. Burke III, class of 1971.
We honor Wally Burke for his extraordinary accomplishments in leadership within the field of psychology. We also honor Wally for his lifelong dedication to Denison through decades of volunteer service and his legendary involvement in leadership with the Sherman Fairchild Foundation. Congratulations.
Paul A. Dimitrick, class of 1971.
We honor Paul Dimitrick for his career and his commitments to service. We recognize his extraordinary success as a lawyer and a leader in the field of financial investments, and for his service to the nation and the world as a trustee of the United States Naval War College Foundation, a member of Business Executives for National Security, a robust supporter of the Navy SEAL Foundation, and for his lifelong dedication and service and support of Denison. Congratulations.
Anne Rechtenwald Hoagland and Thomas E. Hoagland, class of 1971.
We honor Anne and Tom Hoagland for their leadership in their community and their deep commitment to and love for their alma mater. We recognize Tom's success and leadership in the field of financial services and for his dedication and service to Denison in numerous roles, including as chair of the Higher Ground campaign. We applaud Anne for her multiple areas of service to Columbus at the Museum of Art, the Metropolitan Library, and with Compass, a homeless prevention program. Their compassion for and support of Denison Denison is further evidenced by the Hoagland Wellness Center to be launched this fall. The Hoaglands exemplify the lifelong learning and active citizenship that represents the best of Denison. Congratulations.
William C. Hewins, class of 1970.
We honor Bill Hewins for his career in executive leadership in brand management and marketing, working with some of the world's leading consumer brands. And we recognize his service in helping recruit the best and brightest students to his alma mater and acclaim his mentorship of less advantaged students in Florida. We are proud to claim him as Denison's own.
Judith Hamrick McJunkin, class of 1970.
We honor Judy McJunkin for her passion for service. From a liberal arts education at Denison to community leadership, we delight in the example she has set in how your learning and your interests can come together in ways that both lift the heart and bring people together, and in doing so create community institutions which will serve others for generations. Congratulations.
R. Scott Trumbull, class of 1970.
We honor Scott Trumbull posthumously for his distinguished career, his leadership, and his zealous service to and love for his alma mater. This esteemed alumnus blended the strengths of his education, his work ethic, and his loyalty to transform the many businesses and organizations he led. Scott leaves an indelible imprint on the hearts and souls of countless Denisonians who will forever be grateful for his legendary and selfless service. I know many people, myself included, miss Scott and are proud that we're able to honor him today. Can we give him a round of applause?
James Martin Urbaugh, class of 1970.
We also honor Marty Urbaugh posthumously for his deep engagement with Denison from his student years through his 14 years on the Board of Trustees. We delight in how much he would have enjoyed being a vital part of this celebration here on campus he helped to shape and build. We honor his spirit by smiling broadly when we remember him here today. And I know many of us also miss Marty, myself included. Lenny, thank you for being here today. And could we please give Marty a round of applause?
In absentia, we recognize R. William Cornell, class of 1956, who would be celebrating his 66th reunion.
We honor Dr. Bill Cornwall for his love of learning and service expressed through his support of the college. We celebrate his persistence in finding ways to serve others in every phase of his professional journey, and we value how he has chosen to create scholarships and provide career guidance for Denison students. We are proud to call him one of our own. Can we give him a round of applause? So I would encourage people to, we have much fuller citations in the program, and I would encourage people to read those. This is an impressive group of human beings, and I often say to our students that while I want them to have a great 4 years at Denison and be weepy at graduation because they're sad to leave the Hill, we don't ever want anybody to come back at their 50th reunion and say it was the best 4 years of their life. We want our alums to come back in 50 years and say their life turned out better than they ever could have imagined at age 17, and Denison helped make that possible. This group of people represent those qualities of Denison at their best. Can we please give them one more round of applause?
Good morning. I'm Greg Bader, Vice President for Institutional Advancement, and I too am delighted to welcome you home to Denison. It feels good to be together again, doesn't it? We are so excited to welcome you back to this beautiful campus and move forward with our reunion tradition. I offer thanks to classes who stayed with us, even as we postponed 2 years of reunions. Thank you for your patience and grace as we found our footing in a constantly evolving environment over the past 27 months. Understanding the complexity of event planning during a pandemic, our alumni and family engagement team adopted a new phrase, pivot and hustle. And boy, have they hustled this weekend. And today, we are honored to celebrate your lasting relationship to this college and with your classmates. Welcome back. I have the honor and privilege of working every day with a committed group of Denisonians to advance this college by encouraging involvement in the life of the college, service to the institution, and philanthropy to support our highest priorities. In a few moments, we'll have the opportunity to share the impact of your collective work around the reunion fundraising effort. We will celebrate some really impressive totals. But let's pause just for one moment, because I'd like to think just beyond the totals and share with you just a bit about the impact of your giving on this college and this community. One of my favorite quotes around philanthropy was offered by President John F. Kennedy, who said, "Philanthropy, charity, giving voluntarily and freely, call it what you like, but it is truly a jewel of the American tradition." This tradition is alive and well at Denison. Alumni, parents, and friends continue to give generously to this college, which has not only sustained this college, but has enabled us to thrive. Philanthropy has allowed us to launch new academic majors and provide resources for student financial aid to ensure that cost is not a barrier to talent and promise. Your support has provided investments in the arts so that when others have been forced to retreat, we have built. Because of you, Denison has the funds to support programs like Life Launch, internships, and study abroad. Our students are able to launch into their careers and lives on their own terms. And it is because of you they have the critical resources necessary to support that journey. For the last 19 years, I have seen many wonderful changes and investments to this beautiful campus. From a renovation of the original library, which has resulted in Dowdett Hall, to the updated residence halls like Silverstein Hall, a new performing arts center, and now a beautiful wellness center, thanks to Ann and Tom Hoagland and the other donors they inspired to join them. These gifts, your gifts, of all sizes, from $5 to $1 million or more, do all of this and more. It is the collective support of the Denison family that makes all of this possible. On behalf of our grateful college, thank you. Tradition is a central component of every reunion weekend, and one of the traditions is the reunion gift fund for each of the returning classes. Gifts from reunion classes are the cornerstone of the Denison Annual Fund and account for nearly 20% of each year's annual fund. This year, since we are celebrating 2 reunion cycles and 3 50th reunions, that number is closer to 40%. The annual fund will provide more than $7.9 million to the operating budget next year, directly serving students and faculty, from scholarships and research opportunities to study abroad grants and even lacrosse sticks and beakers for the chemistry building. It does it all. The total dollars raised from Denison for all reunion classes celebrating their reunion in 2021, not including the 50th, is $3.4 million. This includes gifts made last year when reunion fundraising began for these classes. And the total dollars raised for Denison from all classes celebrating their reunion in 2022, not including the 50th, is $3.2 million. And I would offer we are still counting. I would be remiss if I didn't remind that the fiscal year will close on June 30th. And if you are so inspired, we will be happy to assist you in any way that we can. Now, would the 50th reunion chairs and legacy committee sub-chairs join me on the stage for the 50th reunions? Would the representatives of the class of 1970 please step forward and share with us all of your hard work?
Thanks, Greg. Good morning, everyone. My name's Henry Norton, and I am, of course, in the class of 1970. Technically, we're celebrating our 52nd reunion. But who wants to celebrate a 52nd when you can celebrate a 50th, right? David Woodyard, who's sitting right down here, was teaching when we were in school. Class of 2017, where are you? Raise your hands. That away. Remember what I said, because David is going to be sitting right there at your 50th reunion. So here we are at our 50th. Our gift has endowed the class of 1970 scholarship. It was awarded for the first time last fall. That scholarship recipient will be the first of, we hope, a lifetime of class of 1970 scholars here at Denison. We are, of course, our gift has also helped the annual fund. How many of you have given to the annual fund? Raise your hands. That away. We had a surprising statistic came out yesterday in one of the presentations. It's where the Adams staff was presenting, his senior staff was presenting, and I've forgotten who it was, but it was stated that only 16%, 1/6, of Denison alums make a contribution, an annual contribution to the Alumni Fund. That's surprising to me, and I suspect it's surprising to all of you. So just remember that. Greg, when is the end again? June 30th is the end, folks. Okay. So we have that endowed scholarship. I've got to say this. Beaver Beach. Does that have the same connotation that Skin Hill had back when we were at school? I don't know. All right. So, for our class gift, 45% of our classmates made a contribution. That's the top percentage contribution of our three classes. It's been a remarkable time with our three classes. All of us, many of us, have friends in both the class of 71 and the class of 72. It's been a great time to do this, and it's a unique opportunity, even under the circumstances of COVID, that we've been able to do this. Although I hope it never has to happen again. So, our class gift, which ranks 12th largest historically of all class gifts that have been given to Denison, and thank goodness I'm the first to present. So our class gift is $4,819,500. Thanks to all of our classmates, all the classmates of 1970, and of course to everyone who's here. It's great to see you all.
Would the class of 1971 please share with us the results of your very hard work?
Good morning, Dennisonians. I am Richard Bodorf, Vice Chair, Co-Chair rather, of the Class of 71 Legacy Committee. I am here with my very capable Co-Chair, Sally Phelps-Finn, and the two Reunion Committee Co-Chairs, Tom Hoagland and Mary Stafford Payne. The Class of 1971 gift to Denison has several components. The first one is a new, unique, and flexible fund, an endowed fund. It is called the Class of 71 Opportunity Fund, and it was established for the purpose of addressing the financial needs of Denison students that were not contemplated by normal financial aid packages. It will fund $25,000 of grants to Denison students in perpetuity. It was of particular value over the last several years during the COVID period and was used, among other things, to fund student medical and emergency transportation requirements. We also have contributed to the annual fund and are leaving a number of estate commitments with the university. The current high watermark for annual class gifts given in this chapel is held by the class of 1968, and that sum is just a tad bit north of $10 million. I am very pleased to be here today to say that the class of 1971 is establishing a new all-time record for Denison University, double the $10 million at $20,539,000. And in closing, I would offer a challenge to those of you in subsequent classes. Shoot higher. We don't want to be the winner. We want somebody else to beat that number, so think big. Thank you.
That is an incredible gift. Thank you, class of 1971. Would the class of 1972 please share with us the results of your incredible work?
Hi, I'm Jack Tankersley. This is Sally Kirkpatrick and the well-introduced John Faraci. We understand that reunions are about remembering. And we understand that we remember our days on the Hill, we remember the good and troubled days on the Hill, our friendships, and importantly, our mentorship. The mentorship from our professors, from the staff, from other classes, and indeed from classmates. Adam talked earlier about the importance of mentorship. And as part of our reunion gift, our class has established a mentorship endowment. This endowment is an unrestricted endowment which will provide perpetual income to be used at the discretion of the president in order to promote, encourage, incentivize, and foster mentorship at Denison. We all know how critical that has been for us and how it will be for the future. This, we believe, is the first such mentorship endowment in higher education. We're very proud to have that. And secondly, we've been able to understand, I can announce that we are actually going to open this endowment up after reunion to let others in the Denison community, to let all Denisonians have the opportunity to recognize their mentors as we have done so. In addition to this mentorship endowment, we have sponsored a number of other projects, another annual gift. We had 33% of our class give. While our class gift is larger than any other class gift before today. I would like to echo the point that was made that it doesn't close until June 30th. So I'm pleased to announce that the class of 1972 gift totals $17,709,758. I just want to say, when the class of 71 and 70 and 72 work together, Denison wins.
Three classes, what, 44 million, something like that? Yes, should say that. Because they're all celebrating.
That's right. Let me just recap. We threw a lot of really large numbers your way. So just pause for a moment and think about these three extraordinary classes. The class of 1970, 71, and 72 have today provided a total class gift for all of their classes combined of $42.5 million. Can we please give them all a round of applause? And I'm going to ask you to stay standing because you're going to just have to get right back up. Because now I'm going to do a little more addition. All of your collective giving, the collective giving of all of our classes, each of you are providing this college a gift this year of $49.1 million. Please be seated. Thank you so very much, and we look forward to celebrating with you throughout the day. Thank you.
(2007), we've got until June 30th. Do you think we can rustle up 21 million? All right, challenge accepted, maybe in 35 years. On behalf of the entire Denison family, thank you all for your continuing commitment and support of our college. The dedication you give our alma mater helps the institution flourish and provides a solid foundation for current and future Denison students. The Parade of Classes is a Denison reunion tradition, and it will officially close this convocation and the classes of 1970, 1971, and 1972's 50th reunion celebration. I ask that alumni remain seated until your reunion year is called, and then you can follow your class banner out of the chapel. Our citation recipients on the stage can come down when called and join their classes to lead them as they parade down Chapel Walk. As you're dismissed, please file outside with your classmates and stand on either side of Chapel Walk toward the Reese Shackelford Common behind Slater. The 50th reunion classes will be the last to leave the chapel, and they will be the first ones through the tunnel. And yes, it is appropriate to cheer loudly for these honored Denisonians. To conclude the convocation, I'd like to invite a few Denisonians to the stage. Imani Abernathy, class of 2016, Hunter Janis, class of 2017, and Stephen Hicks, class of 2016, to lead us in singing the first verse of the alma mater to Denison. The words, not that any of us should need them, but if you do, are printed on the back of your program. After singing, please take your seats until your row is dismissed. I want to thank everyone again for attending the Convocation and Reunion Weekend, and please stand as we sing together to Denison. Singers, come up on stage. Wherever you want. Should they give the mic or?